This program is brought to you by the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. This is NDDC Today.
Good evening. It's an interesting time to be alive in the Niger Delta. Over the past couple of months, it's been one issue or the other with the NDDC in the center of the storm. No one ever thought before now that an intervention agency, not federal or state government, could attract such attention. But be that as it may, the IMC is trudging on, trying to find its way in the midst of all the distractions to stay on course. Some detractors are, however, hell-bent on not letting the IMC rest. These are times that truly call for uncommon courage. Are there people within the Commission clogging its progress? Media intimidation, IMC cries out. In today's program, we'll bring you reports detailing the environmental challenges of the Niger Delta, plus a story on the East-West Road. These and more when we return. Stay with us. We begin the story with the Contractors Association of the NDDC. The body came up recently in Port Harcourt to say that they and the NDDC are partners in progress, and as a result, they will bring their expertise to assist the Interim Management Committee IMC of the Commission to realize the mandate to change the narrative of developing the Niger Delta.
A well-structured, empowered, and organized Contractors Association of NDDC will help in making sure that money is not carted away. Will help in making sure that their contractors deliver based on agreed standards.
Obviously, expectations of the founding fathers of the Commission and the federal government after 19 years of the NDDC is to positively address the underdevelopment of the Niger Delta region. The region that houses the wealth of the country is still bedeviled with developmental issues.
Today is like taking a contract from NDDC is to sign your death warrant that you may not be alive to see the end of the contract.
The association hopes to bring to the barest minimum the issue of projects abandonment by contractors. They urge the IMC to ensure that henceforth contracts are only awarded to registered NDDC contractors.
Henceforth, if every contractor belongs to the Contractors Association, one, it will give them the sense of belonging, and every contract, we can monitor what goes on. Because today, you have them say there are false contractors, ghost contractors. But when you belong to the association, we will equally have record of where you come from and your activities.
The association also enjoined the National Assembly as a matter of national priority and regional inclusiveness to prioritize and pass the lingering 2020 budget of the NDDC so as to give the NDDC management enough room to implement the budget and pay its contractors whose contracts have been verified.
Money should be released to the IMC to pay contractors. The Senate should ensure that they allow their budget to be released to them, and the lien that they put in their funds in CBN should be removed. Why they are doing the forensic audit, they should be paying the contractors, because that's what is supporting the life of people in this region.
The body further urged the Commission to put machinery in place to urgently pay contractors who have successfully executed their contracts to avoid delay and abandonment of NDDC projects.
When you award job to somebody and the person goes to borrow money to do it, execute the project, at the end of the day you are not paying the person and you want him to continue, it's not gonna work. This is not magic. You have to pay him, because if it's a milestone job, when he gets to the first milestone, you pay him. He continues, get to the second milestone, you pay him. You cannot expect him to dip hands after he must have borrowed money from, and then you are owing him. Some contractors have been owed for 5 years, 6 years. This is totally unacceptable, and that leads to abandonment of contracts.
It is expected that if all the issues raised are implemented, the seemingly unending impasse in the Commission, which has led to thousands of abandoned projects in the Niger Delta, will become something of the past. In a bid to strengthen the guidelines for welfare and retirement procedures for the staff of the NDDC, the Supervising Minister of the Commission, Senator Godswill Akpabio, has inaugurated a committee that will look into staff matters of the NDDC. Our correspondent was at the inauguration venue. He sent in this report.
The Minister of the Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, last week inaugurated the committee to review the recent placement of staff in the NDDC on compulsory leave. Inaugurating the committee in his office in Abuja, Senator Akpabio urged the committee to work on the following terms of reference. 1. To look into the immediate causes of placement of staff of the Commission on compulsory leave. 2. Review the various appointments and promotions at the Commission from August 2019 till date. Finally, come out with recommendations that will put the NDDC on the right track and revigorate the staff. Speaking further, Senator Akpabio said that it is important for the operations of the NDDC to be guided by the provisions of the Public Service Rules, Financial Regulations, the Act setting up the NDDC, and other extant laws and regulations guiding staff and other related matters. He charged members of the committee to use their expertise and professionalism to judiciously carry out the assignment and come out with recommendations that will put the NDDC on the right track and reinvigorate the energy of staff for greater performance.
To account on all your expertise and professionalism to judiciously carry out this assignment and come up with recommendations that will put the Commission on the right track, reinvigorate the energy of the staff for greater performance.
Senator Akpabio pointed out that the assignment of the committee is without prejudice to the forensic audit of the NDDC, as it relates also to particular terms of reference given to the field forensic auditor of the head office of the Commission, stressing that the committee's assignment will complement that of the forensic auditors.
This committee's work will only complement that, because your report will also be submitted to the lead forensic auditors and also to the field forensic auditors that are handling the head office of the NDDC for their guidance, because we must also add a lot of extant circulars. So they will come up with a fit for purpose organism and structure that will engender development and then of course improve not just the morale of staff but also lead to higher productivity for the benefit of the people of the organization.
In his vote of thanks, the Acting Executive Director Finance and Administration of the NDDC, Mr. Effiong Akwa, thanked the Minister for inaugurating the committee, while pointing out that the Niger Delta region is very crucial and important to the economy of Nigeria, and that the peace in the region signifies the peace in Nigeria. He thanked Senator Akpabio for the wisdom to inaugurate the committee.
Without peace, there can be no progress. We are sincerely believing that a lot will come out of this committee. The terms of references have been enlarged. When you get back to the Commission, so many things you will see for yourself, including bonuses and payments that may be outside the scope what we normally see. I think you will be in a position to harmonize these for the purpose of our progress and benefits of the Niger Delta.
The committee has 3 weeks to submit its report to the Honourable Minister.
It's on record that over 7,000 oil spills incidents have occurred in the Niger Delta in the last 50 years. In this report, our correspondent takes a look at the impact of spillages of crude oil and other forms of ecological disasters as they affect the Niger Delta environment.
The Niger Delta spans about 70,000 square kilometers of southern Nigeria landmass. The region has the highest deposit of oil and gas natural resources in West Africa, from where Nigeria as a nation derives about 90% of her monthly total income. But it is sad to note that the Niger Delta, in spite of the region's huge contribution to Nigeria's national economy, remains underdeveloped. 2/3% of the region's population live in slums amidst the highest poverty rate when compared to elsewhere in the world where oil is explored in commercial quantity. The peculiarity of the Niger Delta region is not in doubt, and to worsen the region's problems, its environment has been destroyed with an estimated total of over 7,000 oil spill incidents reported over the last 50-year period. The exploration and exploitation activities of oil multinationals operating in the region has brought much more pain than gain for the Niger Deltans, who were predominantly fishermen and farmers before oil was discovered in the late 1950s. The Niger Delta indigents have lost at least above average of their God-given means of livelihood to severe damage to the fertility of their soil, water and environment.
My name is Pastor Christian Lekobakwande, a fish farmer in Bodo. Everything we have put in, all the labor from quite a long time, all just in a movement disappear.
Wildlife and the breeding ground for marine species have been polluted due to the toxicity of oil and gas pollution in the region's environment, as it's said that an average of 240,000 barrels of crude oil are spilled in the Niger Delta every year. The roll call of some major oil spills in the Niger Delta that had a serious, devastating impact on the ecology of the region is endless. Probably a few examples may help us paint a true gloomy picture of the devastating effects that oil spills have caused the region. In July 1979, Forcados Tank 6 terminal in Delta State spilled a total of 570,000 barrels of oil into the Forcados River. That spill polluted the aquatic environment and the surrounding forests, but little or no repair work was done. The Funiwa No. 5 well in Funiwa Field, Bayelsa State, spilled an estimated 421,000 barrels of oil into the river between January the 17th to the 30th of that month in 1980. The spill alone destroyed 836 acres of mangrove forest. The Oshika village spillage in River State spilled 5,000 barrels of oil in 1983, polluting the lakes and swampy forests and causing high mortality of crabs, fish and shrimps, to mention just a few. Let's not also forget too quickly the United Nations Environment Programme UNEP report of 2011 that said it will take a minimum of 30 years to clean up the oil mess in the Niger Delta communities and environment if all necessary logistics, funding with the right commitment to get things done are deployed. The Niger Delta people have been impoverished in many ways, with the attendant increase in environmental abuse occasioned by the struggle for survival because most government programs put in place to assuage the plight have failed due to inefficiencies in their planning and execution. Besides the oil exploration activities that have devastated the Niger Delta environment, the issue of flooding is another phenomenon that has taken a dangerous dimension in recent years. The natural habitat of most communities in the region has been washed into the deep seas and rivers, leaving the people with no choice but to live every day and every year as they see it come and go.
Some of the upstairs will get upstairs. Many of them don't buy canoe now because of the so just the pool go their house.
There is nobody to take good care of us based on the flood.
There are thousands of people like him in this community, and the basic things are not just possible here, because as you can see, everywhere that is usable is flooded, and there's no crops, nothing. They can't even get out of their houses, as you can see. This is where they sleep. Families in the night put the mattresses on top of the water to sleep.
Environmental experts have placed on record that the atmospheric air in most parts of the Niger Delta is polluted and the natural green vegetation of the region destroyed. This, they say, has impacted negatively on the health of local residents in the region. The ingestion, contact and inhalation of constituents of the spilt crude oil has had acute and long-term health implications on the people, causing infertility and cancer in most cases.
Look at me now, I have a lot of sickness, headache and other things receiving from the smoke of the oil.
The many challenges of the Niger Delta region are never left unnoticed by the President Buhari administration, as he has promised to change the development narratives of the region without delay. In the last 5 years, the present administration is determined to help redress the plight of the people of the region, according to the Supervising Minister of the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC), Senator Godswill Akpabio. Over the years, several attempts have been made by the NDDC to remedy the impact of ecological devastation and various environmental challenges which characterize the Niger Delta. Many of these attempts have not been fully met with success. The NDDC has never relented since its inception. The Commission has intervened in many ways to help the Niger Delta communities remedy the impact of disasters such as flood and other environmental challenges in the Niger Delta in the last 20 years. For instance, several land reclamation and shore protection projects of the Commission have saved hundreds of communities from being wiped off their present locations by floods or erosion.
The Commission, the NDDC, we are visiting flooded communities, and so far we have seen 50 communities. A lot of the villages in Bayelsa, Delta, Rivers, Akwa Ibom are this flooded, and the Commission is now making provision so that we can reach them.
Recently, the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, which doubled as the supervising ministry of the NDDC, collaborated with the Commission to put together a workable document that will serve as a framework that will be used to plan and execute a possible remedy to check and sustain the intended impact of the floods in the Niger Delta. The 11-man committee working on the expected document will submit their report in no distant time.
We are not praying that those things must happen, but with the prediction coming from the experts, we must make hay while the sun shines. We felt that there was any community or group of people, even an institution that fails to plan, has planned to fail. We cannot wait to be only reactive. We should be proactive.
The Niger Delta environment, I guess, requires an intensified, consolidated efforts between government and all agencies and other stakeholders to bring succor to the communities. The East-West Road, which runs from Warri in Delta State and terminates in Oran in Akwa Ibom State, remains the biggest federal project in the entire South-South region. The highway project, which was awarded in 2006, in no small measure has brought great relief to motorists plying the route. However, much work is still left undone. But guess what? Niger Deltans will soon heave a sigh of relief soon. You'll find out in this report.
The East-West Road in South-South Nigeria is 413 kilometers long with an interstate superhighway which traverses across 4 states of Delta, Bayelsa, Rivers and Akwa Ibom states. The multi-billion highway dualization project was one of the greatest desires of the Niger Deltans in the 90s. The agitation for the construction of the highway sparked a series of protests, prior to the former President Olusegun Obasanjo's administration coming into office as president in 1999. The promises to dualize the East-West Highway by former President Obasanjo served as a major panacea that brought about the process of the dialogue for peace with the Niger Delta agitators and activists in the region before it was awarded in 2006. The East-West Road is a project of necessity to the entire Niger Deltans and the Nigerian nation at large. It's the only regional project that touches or connects the big four oil-producing states in Nigeria and the only superhighway in the region. It serves all the interstate commuters, and it's the only road strong enough to withstand the movement of heavy trucks carrying prospective oil equipment for multinationals that operate in the Niger Delta. The project, which stretches from Warri in Delta to Oron Town in Akwa Ibom State, has 29 bridges of various spans. Initially, the project was awarded by the Federal Ministry of Works. In 2008, the contract was transferred from the Ministry of Works to the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs by the late Musa Yar'Adua's administration for all necessary payments, supervision, and monitoring up to its completion. In the last 5 years of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, the East-West Road Dualization project work has remained work in progress, and the NDDC, as a major stakeholder in the region, has intervened at some point by ways of remedial work in some failed sections of the road. Before now, most commuters plying this superhighway and some notable stakeholders of the region have expressed their concerns and worries about the delay which has bedeviled the project, especially with the rains and floodings around the corner. To get this all-important project speedily completed and commissioned for use, President Muhammadu Buhari has accepted the recommendation that the funding of the East-West Road project be taken from the Sovereign Wealth Fund, SWF, and under the watch of the Minister of the Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio. It is hoped that in no distant time, the dream of President Buhari's administration for the Niger Delta will be seen in reality when the East-West Road will be completed and commissioned, among other major landmark projects in the Niger Delta. The part of the road that has been completed is a sight to see ambience and quality, with its hallmark along the stretches finished. With the new verge, the failed sections, particularly the Bayelsa stretch, might now receive the needed attention.
The management of the Nddc once again steps out to curl unverified negative reports against the Commission. The report.
The Niger Delta Development Commission, Nddc, has just been alerted of a planned protest in the United Kingdom by certain individuals and hirelings, most of whom are masquerading as the Commission's scholars over non-payment of the scholarship fund. This is part of an ongoing campaign orchestrated by powerful individuals who are part of the systemic corruption uncovered by the Interim Management Committee IMC in the Commission's administration of the Foreign Postgraduate Scholarship. Consequently, it has become very pertinent and urgent for the Commission to inform all our stakeholders, the media, relevant agencies, and all well-meaning Nigerians as follows. 1. In 2018, the Commission paid a total of $900,000 only to cover the Commission's obligations to its scholars. 2. In 2019, the amount paid rose to a total of $3,500,000. 3. Recently, the IMC paid out a total of $5,990,000 to cover all the verified obligations to our scholars. 4. Now there is a demand for an additional payment of $3 million, bringing the total to an alarming $9 million. Finally, therefore, the Commission and goal behind this planned protest is patently dubious, mischievous, underhand, and potentially criminal. Some of the important questions everyone must ask are: Why is the amount paid to cover our obligations to this foreign scholarship program rising astronomically? Where are all these demands coming from? What do they cover? Who is behind them? It is important to note that since the establishment of the IMC, no scholarship has been awarded due to the ongoing forensic audit. So why is the IMC being blackmailed, threatened, cajoled and intimidated to make these payments without verification? Since the institution of the forensic audit by President Muhammadu Buhari, the IMC has uncovered a culture of rampant corruption and abuse in the Commission. Many very powerful individuals who benefited from the years of sleaze have been on the attack. The unfortunate mission, which is against the directives of President Buhari and the dream and expectations of the people of the Niger Delta region, of a commission that can finally and efficiently address their long years of neglect and poverty, is simply to frustrate, scuttle and undermine the forensic audit, as well as cause the disbandment of the IMC. These frightened elements are fighting to ensure that the federal government is not able to unearth the culture of wanton abuse and corruption that necessitated the forensic audit. They are waging a failing battle to stop the federal government through the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs as well as the IMC from uncovering the massive abuse of the Commission that has made it impossible for this interventionist agency to meet its mandate to the Niger Delta region. Their looting of the Commonwealth of the Niger Delta region has further impoverished the people, leaving the region littered with abandoned or poorly executed projects and programs and a graveyard of the people's dreams. The IMC wishes to restate that no amount of blackmail, threats, personal, political and media intimidation, as well as the unwholesome machinations of these characters and their paid allies on the backstreets of London, will stop the IMC from getting to the root of the looting and corruption. Consequently, as part of its investigations, the IMC and relevant officers of the Commission will undertake a long-planned and approved trip to the United Kingdom this September to verify these obvious and unexplained discrepancies in the Commission's foreign postgraduate scholarship program. During this trip, the Commission's team will visit the universities where all scholars are studying for various master's and doctorate degrees. We strongly believe that these planned protests aims to scare the Commission from undertaking this very necessary and vital verification. The Commission will not be intimidated nor cowed. It is the objective of the federal government to stop unscrupulous characters, no matter how powerful they are, from reaping where they did not sow, and undermining the capacity and moral authority of the Commission to fulfill its mandate of regional sustainable development.
Thank you for staying with us, and we do hope you join us again next week. From me and the NDDC Today crew, it's good night.